Adrian in Texas, so the call is coming from inside the state. Welcome to the show. You're on with Matt and Jim.
Hi, Matt and Jim. It's such an honor to talk to y'all guys. I know you don't have a lot of time, so I'll just jump right into it. I believe in a designer God because of the evidence in nature that appears to be designed. And I guess
how do you tell the difference between Adrian?
I'm sorry.
How do you tell the difference between something that appears to be designed and something that is designed?
Let's see, the usefulness of it, and
well,
also compare it to other things that are around it.
Well,
I find a rock useful for hammering nails. Does that mean that the rock was designed to hammer nails?
Yeah, I got a walking stick out in the backyard. Do you think that grew on a branch with the intent of being useful?
As far as the rock being a nail, then the moment that you use it as a nail, then that or as a hammer, yeah. The moment that you use it as a hammer, then at that moment it turns into something that was designed for hammering.
No.
No, because it's still a rock, and it was still created by natural forces that we understand through geology. The fact that I'm using it as a hammer just means that I have found it that is the handiest thing to hammer a nail in with. Doesn't mean that it was designed for that purpose.
Right, and could you use anything? Is there anything around that you could use better as a hammer? Like, say,
what difference does that make? No, Adrian, stop. So you're saying that the rock becomes an intentionally designed hammer the second Jim decides to use it as a hammer. Not only is that not the way design works, because Jim didn't design that rock, but you've just defeated your own argument, because every rock that hasn't been picked up and used as a hammer is clearly evidence for not being designed.
Right. Rocks are not designed. I agree with you on that point. That rocks are not designed.
Okay,
but if you're going to use a rock as something, then I guess the person using the rock would be the designer of that rock if they're using it for something.
No, they would be the person implying that is assigning the use to that rock, but they haven't designed it. Right? If I have not chipped anything off of it, I have not applied any process to the rock. It's still the same rock it was before I picked it up. It's still the same rock after I use it to hammer in the nail and put it back down. Hasn't been designed for anything.
I get what you're saying. Yeah, I think I get what you're saying, but I don't see how that coates to. I mean, how that. I don't see how that helps.
So. It sounds to me like you are confusing design with purpose, right? So what is the purpose of a rock? Well, it doesn't have any purpose until I assign it, a human being assigns it a purpose. Some birds may actually pick up a rock to drop it from a great height, or to use it to open something up. They may use it as a tool. Chimpanzees may do the same thing. So they're assigning purpose to the rock. Now, to say that somebody designed it means that I have taken a raw material and crafted it into something that I want to, that would be better suited for anything.
Like, instead of using the rock to open a shell, for instance, could they use something else to open the shell around?
Sure, they could use any object for the purpose. They could use any object with similar qualities for the same purpose. Because purpose is not design.
Is helpful. I just don't see how what you're saying is helpful to what I'm saying. Because if you could just
what's the difference in your mind? What's the difference between purpose and design? What's the difference between purpose and design?
Purpose and design.
What is the difference between purpose and design?
I guess I would only know about design right now. I mean. Like, design would be
because you're conflating the two.
Literally, when we asked you to define design, you included that it was something for a purpose.
That's one thing, yes. And then the other thing is that it's different from everything else that it's around in nature.
Okay.
Well, so we're going back to purpose.
In a forest,
what does purpose mean?
All right.
What's the difference between purpose and design?
It can be useful for something, and then design is actually just purpose is how we define design.
Name something that's not designed.
No.
Name something that's so. I'm gonna let you do that. I just want to know if he can name something that's not designed.
A rock? I mean, I think we just said that.
No, because you said that if Jim picks up the rock and uses it, now it has a purpose, and that means it was designed.
Yeah. After Jim picks it up, yeah, but before it didn't have any purpose.
All yours, Jim. This is way too stupid for me.
Yeah, this is where you're getting purpose and design confused. I have not changed any aspect of the rock other than its purpose. The rock, before I picked it up, had no purpose whatsoever. It just sat there. I picked it up to use it as a hammer. I changed its purpose, but I did not change the design of it. Right? I didn't shape it. I didn't do anything to it other than pick it up and bring it back down with some force. I didn't design it. I didn't put any effort into forming its shape.
The hammer. Did you use
it?
Right.
I'm saying I changed the purpose, but I did not design it. I changed the purpose, but did not design it.
At that moment is when it becomes a hammer. Do you get it now?
Yes. The purpose becomes a hammer, not the design.
Yes.
This is why I'm asking what the difference in your mind is between the purpose of a thing and the design of a thing.
Yeah. It doesn't mean that you made the rock. You just made the hammer.
No, I repurposed the rock. I didn't make anything. The rock was already made. I have not changed it. No,
he didn't. He used a rock as a hammer. He did not make a hammer. Meanwhile, your second thing that we tell it by the fact that it looks something that it's different from the things surrounding it. If I just put a rock out in space, it's now different from everything around surrounding it. Does that mean it was designed?
I'm sorry, can you say that question one more time?
You said that we recognize design by identifying something that is different from its surroundings. So if I pick up a rock and I put that rock in space so that it's different from its surroundings, does that mean the rock was designed?
Well, could we look around?
Does that mean the rock was fucking designed?
No, because there's other rocks.
No, so you've given us two potential definitions for design. One is about purpose, which you don't understand and is a confused mess. And the other one is that it's something that's different from its surroundings. And I just demonstrated that something can be different from its surroundings. And even you acknowledge that it's not designed. So maybe you should go off and think about design, since your whole point is that things look designed. And what you decide is something that looks designed. You don't even have a good explanation for it. And you get undermined every time we ask a question.
Yeah, how did you say that the rock was like everything else around it? Or I didn't get that part, because
a rock floating in space is unlike everything around it, correct?
What about a comet? What about an asteroid? Aren't those rocks flying through space?
Yes, they are. Are they near anything?
They're in nature and they're flying through space. We can see them. So.
Yeah, I'm done.
Okay. Goodbye, Adrian.
You get
I'm on a rock flying through space. It's just that Adrian wasn't following well enough for us to get to that.
He may very well have been on a type of rock that, anyway. I hate to cast aspersions at our callers, but if you don't understand the difference between purpose and design, we can't really have a good conversation, and he was not getting the difference.
And if you think that we recognize design just because it's a little different from the things around it, I mean, that's somebody who understood. Sorry, that's someone who heard Paley's watchmaker argument about finding a watch on a beach, but didn't understand it, and just went, anything that's different from around it. So does that mean if I take a big dump in your bowl of soup, was the dump designed?